Hi friends, welcome back to Black Cat Folk Magic. Happy 2025. I know that I've been posting sporadically and that kind of thing, but I've been through a lot, and I am rededicating myself to work this year, focusing on the things that bring me joy, and one of those things is reading for the collective. I feel like this is going to be a really monumental year for all of us, for the collective, for the beings on Earth in general. I know that a lot of us have a feeling of dread going into this year for very good reason, and I'm not dismissing that. But what I'm saying is the power that I'm feeling, the power that I'm sensing of the collective and of change is so much greater than the power of what I'm fearing. I'm not even in despair on an overall level. I do mourn for the things that we will lose. But I think growing as a collective, growing as, our collective consciousness is just going to level up in a huge way, in a way maybe that it never has. I do think we are going to experience a lot of things that we as humans have never experienced this year. I feel a bunch of new energy. I also kind of feel that nervousness, like when you, on your first day of middle school, after you've been in elementary school all those years, there's a lot we don't know. And it can be easy to fear that. And, we have some pretty good indicators that we're not in the best hands. But I think some of that is a mirage. And I think some of that is a gateway. I think people are going to be more motivated to do their spiritual work and level up as individuals. And I think this is going to cause great change. And by great, I mean wonderful change. The thing is, change is always a little bit painful, isn't it? Anyway, so I'm very excited to experience this year with you through these collective readings, and I hope you'll join me. I really hope to post regularly, and I hope you'll be here for them. Today I'm going to do a collective reading for the year 2025. If you would like your individual reading, please follow me on Instagram at Black Cat Folk Magic and DM me there. That's where I do most of my business, and that's where I can get to you the quickest. So today for each group, I'm going to draw a few oracle cards to, get the overall, to check the temperature, to get the overall vibe of the year. And then I'm going to lay out 12 cards, one for each month, and start on your story there. And I may pull a few clarifiers if I need to. But, all right, let's jump into it. We have 3 groups today. As always, the timestamps are down in the description. We have group 1 with Lullaby. We have group 2 with the Perfect Key. And we have group 3 with the Gardener. See you in your reading. Hi, group 1. You chose Lullaby. And I just love these cards. They're all so beautiful. Okay, we'll probably refer to this card later. Let's get you a few oracle cards and see what we can look forward to in 2025. All right. Come on. Group 1, 2025. Group 1, 2025. Sacrifice. Okay. Sorry about the lighting. Let's just call it moody. We're just winging it today. Ivy, fascinating. I'll tell you why in a little bit. And I'm going to get you one of these Kipper cards. Marriage. All right. Okay. Let's see what your year holds. If we can get my fingers to work. I have rheumatoid arthritis, and some days it's easier to grab the cards than others. So thank you for your patience. Okay, January. Perfect. The Fool, which is the first card of the deck. Which is, this is the tarot deck describes the Fool's journey from the beginning to the end. And so we're at the beginning. So why not start with the Fool? That makes me think that there's really, truly is a fresh start for you this year. A lot of new energy coming in. February. We have the Three of Swords. Don't panic. March. Wow, we have the High Priestess. April. We have Eight of Wands. This is shaping up very nicely. May. Seven of Cups. June. That's one of my cat's names, and she jumped when I said it. Five of Swords. That has a lot of June energy, believe me. July. Ooh, Ace of Cups. August. There we are. Ten of Pentacles. September. The Emperor. October. The Tower. Don't panic. November. The Page of Swords. And December. The Magician. Fantastic. Oh, what a year. This is not going to be a year where you're just lazing about. I will say that. This is not a year where you're going to be bored. There are going to be a lot of ups and downs. But the most important thing is they're all leading to something really great. Okay, so in January, we do have the Fool, which is, like I told you before, it's this beginner energy. It's a feeling of renewal. And I feel like, like most people, they're starting out the new year optimistic. If you're not feeling optimistic because of the things going on in the world, I encourage you to find some things to be optimistic about. You don't have to be optimistic about things that are terrible. I mean, I know where we are as a society, and it's terrifying. But I feel like Spirit is challenging you to get off on the right foot and to look for those things to be optimistic about, you know? Maybe this is the year that you'll get a promotion. Maybe this is the year that you finally get your house organized. You know, maybe there are a lot of new opportunities that you're not seeing yet. You know, the point is dig to find those things, because I think that kind of energy is going to be very crucial this year. All right. So February, we have the Three of Swords. I do feel like February is going to be an adjustment period for all of us. And, you know, this is a reading for the collective, so for everybody it's different what this adjustment period is going to be. I think overwhelmingly it's going to be the changes in our country, the changes of, you know, the shifting of our country's place in the world. I'm in the United States. If this doesn't apply to you, I actually think it does. I don't think the United States is singular in this energy. There are going to be huge shifts all over the world. What I'm seeing here is grief over losing what we know, the world we know. And that doesn't mean we need to stay in this grief, because this is a time of great change. It's a time of great growing. And, you know, to change in big ways, we need to be motivated in big ways. Excuse me, my cat has a cold, so she's sneezing. I apologize. We need to be motivated in big ways. And guess what? This is going to be one of the biggest motivating years that we've had, maybe in human history. I don't want to make that sound daunting. To me, I'm excited, because when things are changing, when things are moving, that's the time to shape them into the things that we want, shape them in our favor and our image, and make things go our way. The only thing I'm afraid of is, you know, things being stagnant all the time, never changing. However, change is painful. And so I think a lot of us in the collective are going to feel these growing pains, especially around February. Now, what that's going to lead to is in March, it's going to bring you a lot of wisdom, you know, sitting with those growing pains, thinking about what they mean to you, studying them, and how they apply to your life. I think that's going to bring you such enormous spiritual growth and such wisdom. That's my cat, Howie. He wants to help us out today. I feel like on a spiritual level, you're going to be allowed access to things, to knowledge that you have never been privy to before. I wish I could be more specific about that. Because if I could be more specific about that, I would understand it for myself. But I think it's one of those wait and see things. I mean, we've got the snake here. You know, there are divine secrets here. But I think as we do our spiritual work in this Three of Swords energy and move into this High Priestess energy, all that will be revealed to us. And I think you'll level up. I think you'll have a higher understanding of the world and how you fit in it and what you're here for. April. So this is when we start to move, okay? You've done the work sitting with this Three of Swords energy. You've gained this wisdom. And now you are going to take the next step. Okay? I feel like for some of you, you were going to go after this next step. You're going to pursue something. And I think some of you, it's going to arrive at your door in the form of a message, some good news. Either way, you're going to get there. I see you feeling very sure-footed in this. It's a lot of warrior energy to me. Very fiery energy. Okay. May. So we've arrived to a crossroads when we get to May. We've made some moves, and now we're reevaluating where we are. And you'll have some choices to make. The important thing to know is that to remember, is that you've reached this High Priestess energy. You have some wisdom, some newfound wisdom that you haven't always had. And I don't want you to be afraid of choosing. The most important thing is don't get stuck here. Just make a choice. There are no wrong choices. Just make a choice. Try to make, the choice using your wisdom, but more importantly than that, don't get stuck. You need to keep moving. Okay, in June, we have the Five of Swords. This is where we're running up against some challenges. And I see this as a challenge for yourself. Challenging your assumptions, challenging the way you think, challenging the way things have always been. There's a lot of, hidden wisdom in the last, several cards. And I think those things are going to start to sit with you. And you will be completely incapable of seeing the world in the way that you once did. Which is a good thing. You're moving. You're leveling up. When you grow, I'm going to set this down because it's making my hand hurt. When you grow as a person, sometimes you outgrow things that have always been around you. You outgrow people, you outgrow situations, you outgrow towns, houses, jobs. And sometimes that can be really challenging and heartbreaking. And the worst thing you can do is give in to that fear. Because fear will keep you from growing. It absolutely will. It will kill all this progress that you've made. Another thing is be very aware of the role that your ego is playing in this this conflict that you're experiencing. Because we do not want to lead with our ego. Our egos are liars. Um, our egos sabotage us. And our higher selves rescue us. Our higher selves get us to where we need to be. So I think this is a really good time to buckle down with any of your spiritual practices that lead you to your higher self and your higher understanding. So meditation. Be sure you're getting really good sleep. Be sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people and the right situations. Don't watch movies that are putting stressful ideas in your head. Don't read books that are depressing. This is really when you want to give your all to your higher self. And the wonderful thing is, in August, there's a new beginning because you've been through this conflict. Now, this can mean a lot of things. For some people, it's a new relationship, like a romantic relationship. For a lot of people, it's a new relationship with themselves, with their spiritual self, a leveling up. And I think maybe some of you feel like when you come out of this battle with yourself, you're going to feel fiery and determined. And I think you're going to be surprised that when you meet your higher self and you're secure in that, and you shed these insecurities, what you're actually going to feel is peace. A knowing that you're where you need to be and that you're on the right path. In September, we have the Ten of Pentacles. What a wonderful card. You see how he's wearing the evil eye here. He's protecting all that he's gained. He's gained knowledge. He's gained wisdom. He's gained prosperity. He's gained stability and family. And he's enjoying it. But he's also making sure to check in that he's not letting those thoughts, those self-defeating thoughts back in, those ego thoughts back in. What do people think? Am I good enough? Am I driving the right car? Am I projecting this image that I want to project? None of that has any basis in the reality of who you are as a spirit. You're a spirit here having a human experience. And the challenge is remaining a spirit rather than giving into the pitfalls of being a human. Okay? And so you need to stay on this high vibration and enjoy this thing and protect it. And you can do that through spiritual practice, through checking in with your ego, through checking in with your higher self, meditation, journaling, reaching out to spiritual advisors, reaching out to people you can trust, which is a whole thing you're going to learn in this area right here. Because it may surprise you who's left after you've leveled up. Because most times when we level up, we have to leave people behind who don't grow with us, who don't want to do the work, who are too attached to their egos to move on, who are too attached to fear to level up. And the only thing they're going to do is bring us down. So it's very important that you don't let those people and those things distract you. Okay? Okay, September. I had to count. I lost track. All right. We have the Emperor here. I think you're going to take all these things that you've learned and all this power that you've gained and all this leveling up that you've done, and you're going to put it into action. Okay? You're going to take charge with it. You're going to feel secure in it and say, okay, I've learned these things. Now I can move on and start building. Okay? Now, our next card, October, is the Tower, which is unbuilding, right? And I don't think these counteract each other. I think they're working in tandem. Because you can't really rebuild while there's all this, all these things that aren't serving you still there. You've got to tear this down. Your old ways, your old load-bearing walls. So you can reconstruct how you live in this world. Okay? I know that seems daunting, but I don't feel that. I think you're going to go into it with this Emperor energy. Look how confident he is. Look at that owl with wisdom. He can see where he's going. I'm drawn to his hands, which, make me think of doing things. Our hands are how our thoughts and our beliefs come alive in the world. It's how we take those thoughts and beliefs and start to move our physical world around to be in alignment with all these things that we've learned and where we need to be. In November, this could mean a couple of things. But I think that you're going to meet someone whose knowledge you find valuable. A mentor, a spiritual guide. This is for some of you. But it's coming through that it's... And I think it's someone that you never would have given the time of day to before when you were in a lower vibration. Okay? But I think they're going to help you level up again, and I think they're going to help you maintain the growth that you've achieved in 2025. When we get to December, which is amazing, it's the Magician. This is manifestation. This is your power to create the world that you want to live in. I think you're going to feel empowered. I think you're going to feel like things are happening for you instead of things happening to you. I think your perspective is going to be completely different, and that's going to empower you in a lot of ways. Okay, and so we drew this Kibber card here of marriage, and what I think this means for the most part, for most of you, is that 2025 is going to be a year where you where you marry your values and your actions, where you learn to live in alignment with, your practical day-to-day actions and what you really feel in your heart to be the right thing. Sometimes it's very hard to do on this planet, in this country. But I think you're going to make great strides in that area. And these two oracle cards, we have Sacrifice, and we have Ivy. With this Sacrifice, that's a scary word, but look how content she is. Look at the hummingbird at her heart. Her heart is fluttering. Her heart is happy. She's glowing. She's got an aura. She's got a halo. She's holding this flower in her hand. And I feel like when you are in this place where you have to give up things, to live as your best self, to live in your new vibration, that it's not going to be as painful as you think. Or at the very least, it's going to be worth it. It's going to make your heart soar. It's going to make your heart flutter. It's going to bring so much growth to you. So much wisdom. Ivy. Okay. Here's the other side of that coin. I don't know if you know this, but English ivy, especially in the United States, is very invasive. And my grandparents, I live in my grandparents' house. They've long passed on, but they moved here in the 50s, and it was very trendy then to build a patio. So you could go out and sit in the sun, And I live in Tennessee in the woods and, beautiful countryside. But they wanted this sunny patio because it is very shady in these woods. And so they cleared a place and put in a patio, and they thought, well, these concrete walls around the patio are ugly because they had to build concrete walls because they built into the side of a hill. And so, not having any knowledge whatsoever about invasive plants at the time, they planted English ivy, and it looks lovely cascading down the walls, right? The only problem is it's very invasive. And I live on 4 acres, and it pops up in places that you would never think it would pop up. It pops up around the mailbox, which is nowhere near the patio. It pops up in the woods, which can be really dangerous because it can tear down trees. It grows up the side of my house. And so it's a constant battle. I'm not willing to use chemicals I'm not willing to use herbicides because I have made this into, a wildlife refuge. I've made my land into a place where I want pollinators to thrive, and I just can't use shortcuts. So it is a constant game of whack-a-mole since the 1950s on this property to keep this ivy away. And it will continue to be. There's no other way than to remain diligent about it. So, what I'm getting from that is that when you're sitting in this lovely energy, and you're like, I'm so glad I made these choices. My heart is fluttering with happiness. Don't get so carried away that this ivy starts to pop up and creep around. These thoughts of your old life and your old vibration and where you used to be. As soon as they pop up, dig them out by the root, okay? It's something that you're going to have to remain diligent with. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I wish you the very, very, very best in 2025. And I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. Happy 2025. As I told the other group, I apologize about the lighting. Let's just call it moody. But I'm just winging it today. Well, that's what I felt called to do. Okay, you chose Group 2, and you chose the perfect key. Okay, we'll set this up here and get to it later. Let's get you some oracle cards to set the tone for the year. Group 2 in 2025. Group 2 in 2025, please. Group 2 in 2025. Oh, yes. Light. Group 2 in 2025, please. Karmic debt. Very interesting. Okay, let's get you one of these Kipper cards. Two came out, actually. So, occupation and a funeral. Don't panic. Don't panic. It's probably not what you think it is, but we'll get to it. All right. Let's lay out your cards for the year. Group 1 in January, please. Group 1. Wow, did you see that fly out? 7 of Swords. Group 2 in February. Death. Again, don't panic. That card never means what you think it does. Group 3. Group 2. March. Come on, brain. Oh, that's why. 3 of Cups. Group 2, April. I apologize, guys. The Hermit. Group 2, May. Ace of Pentacles. June. Ace of Swords. July. High Priestess. August. Queen of Swords. September jumped out with Wheel of Fortune. Fantastic. October. Page of Swords. November. Ten of Pentacles. And December. Oops. I don't take reversals. They don't help my intuition. Okay, 6 of Swords. Okay, right away, I'm seeing that there are going to be big changes. And I think one of those is with your career. Of course, I'm reading for the collective. So, you know, it could, it's different for everyone. But you have occupation and a funeral. And I feel like you're not going to just change jobs. I feel like you're going to change careers. Or if that doesn't resonate, it's just taking a new path entirely. Maybe you'll change religions. Maybe you'll change cities. But a big difference. And, I don't think it's like moving from New York to Chicago. I think it's like moving from New York to somewhere, some little town in Iowa. For example, I'm just saying it's going to be a huge change. If you change jobs, like, it'll be something like going from marketing to going to farming, or just something that is a complete change. Okay. But it's called for, because this old job you needed, or this old way of living you needed, because you had some things to learn. You had to pay a karmic debt. You had some things you needed to get through to get to where you are, but you've done it. And so now you're moving into a position that's happier, that's lighter, that's bringing in very good energy. It's going to be easier for you. I see things being much easier for you after this change than they've been before, or maybe in your entire life. That doesn't mean you can relax. Not to brace yourself for bad things, but because instead of putting that energy towards survival, or putting that energy towards just not feeling run down all the time, you're going to put it into growing. You're going to put it into, you're going to get this momentum this year. Because, we're starting out with the 7 of Swords, which is often thought of as a negative card. Sometimes it can mean being in the dark. Sometimes it can mean infidelity. Sometimes it can mean someone playing a trick on you. And then you're ending with the 6 of Swords, which is moving from a dark place to a light place. In the traditional deck, they're moving toward a sunny horizon, out of rough waters to calm waters. And I think that's the movement of your entire year. You've gone into this with a lot of concern and worry and distrust. This magpie, it looks like it stole something. A ring from somebody, and I just heard, you can't get it back. You can't get back what you lost, but you need to move on. Because much better things are coming in. You won't even remember. You won't even care that you lost this anymore after you get into this vibration, okay? I think January is going to be a time of rumination for you, which is generally not suggested. But I think it's a time to start parsing out what's worth your energy, what's not, what's ego and what's your higher self, what's in alignment with things that you want for your future and what's not. So I think there's going to be a lot of thinking going on for you, okay, in January. A lot of planning, a lot of brainstorming. I see a lot of journaling, okay? And then what that's going to lead to in February is a lot of changes for you. This is a card of transformation. And you see, he has a third eye. You've gained wisdom from all this introspection from January. And you're moving into February, setting that wisdom in motion. Okay? You're definitely going to leave something behind. And I only feel good energy from this. I only feel good energy from this. I don't think you have a thing in the world to be afraid of. In fact, I feel very energized looking at this. Then you're moving into March. And what you're coming up with is this stability and trust in others. See, remember in January you had this distrust. I feel like you're going to start learning who your people are. Not only that, I feel like just the energy you're going to allow in your life. Okay? And as a result, you're going to feel a lot more supported. You will probably experience a lot more abundance, because when we're in alignment with feeling supported and secure, that just calls in more abundance, right? And there could be some sort of collaboration here with these friends that will bring in abundance. You know, if this was the Three of Pentacles, I would definitely say that. But I'm also sort of getting that for some of you in this card. But you're going to find your people. You're going to find the people you want to spend your energy around. And you're going to decide that, you know, you don't want friends who are competitive or who are insecure, so they cut you down. You're going to decide that that's not acceptable for you anymore. And that's going to bring you into a whole new energy in life. And it's going to bring in a whole bunch of wonderful things for you. I remember, I don't know why this story popped in my head, but I was thinking of energies that are bad for us, that we allow ourselves to be around because we don't know any better. We don't want to be alone. We are scared of the change. But several years ago, about 12 years ago, I had a spine operation, which was very complex and dangerous, and I was in the hospital for a very long time. It was my 4th surgery. And I was going through it mostly alone. But I had some friends who were around, who did a lot of work to take care of me, who took me to get groceries, who took me to doctor's appointments, who took me to the pharmacy because I couldn't drive for a long time, who came to visit me in the hospital. And because they were so wonderful in those ways, I let them get away with a lot. And, you know, I gained a lot of weight because I was in bed for about a year to recover. And I was on pain medicines. And I couldn't move. I mean, I had this huge, devastating spine surgery. This wasn't like, you know, a simple disc surgery. It was huge and required tons of hardware, and I almost didn't make it. They ruptured my vertebral artery, and there were a lot of miracles that happened that day that I'm here. But the recovery was long, and it was hard, and it was hard on my body. And, you know, I was 33, and it was a time when your body starts to change anyway because of aging. But mine changed so rapidly because of the surgery, right? And it was something that was heartbreaking to me. It was devastating to me. Not because I'm vain about my body, but because the way it functions was changing, and the way I understood it to be, and what I expected to be there wasn't there, and what I didn't expect to be there showed up, and you know, it was a lot of change, and you know, everyone was so focused on my physical recovery that a lot of that emotional stuff got pushed aside. So I was with my friend in Target, and I needed to buy some new clothes because my old clothes didn't fit because my body changed. And I shouldn't have said this, but I made some self-deprecating comment when I tried something on and it was too big. And I don't talk to myself this way anymore, but back then I did. And I said, "Oh, I'm not as enormous as I thought I was." And my friend, pretending to say it under her breath, but loud enough where I can hear it, she goes, "Oh, yes, you are." And I was stunned. I was stunned at the cruelty. I was stunned at the low blow. I was stunned that she let her insecurity, that she was so insecure that she would be cruel to somebody who was having such a hard time. But I didn't say anything. Mostly because I was stunned and I didn't know what to say in the moment. But I never addressed it because this was a person who helped me in so many ways, who was good to me in so many ways. And I had to learn that none of that counted when I was at my most vulnerable and she was still willing to punch down. It didn't matter how many times she took me to the grocery store. It didn't matter how many times she came to the hospital. That cruelty was still in her heart. And that stuck with me a very long time. The pain of that stuck with me a very long time. I still think it's with me in a lot of ways. It doesn't affect me as much as it used to, but it still hurts my heart when I remember that story. And I feel led to tell you this because I feel like it's going to take you some time to sort through who deserves to be around you and who doesn't. Because it's not clear all the time. It's not cut and dry. You make excuses for people. You say, "Oh, they're so good to me in other ways. They're so, and you ignore that very core of how they feel about you. The way people treat you is how they feel about you. Okay? So, I want you to think about that, And I think here in April, you're going to start with this Hermit card. You're going to start to do a lot of inner work about that. What do I deserve? What do I deserve in my friends? What do I deserve in the energy around me? Who am I going to allow around me? And I hope that you choose people who are supportive of you instead of competitive. I hope you choose people who are secure about themselves so they don't feel the need to punch down and make you feel bad about yourself. I hope you choose people who celebrate who you are and want you to feel empowered and want you to feel beautiful and want you to feel good about yourself and want to be encouraging instead of discouraging, who want to operate from their higher selves instead of from their egos. Because I believe you're making these changes for yourself. But that's not going to do much good if you're surrounding yourself with other people who are not willing to do that work. Okay? In May, we have Ace of Pentacles. So, again, I am seeing some, this is a card of prosperity, but I am seeing a new way of doing things, a new way of making money. And I believe that's going to become clearer to you in May. I don't think it's just money. I think it's abundance in general. But I do believe that May is when you're maybe going to get the idea of how to change, of what new direction you want to go into. to bring in this abundance. In June, we have Ace of Swords. So I think you're going to take the wisdom that you have here and the decisions that you made here and put it into action. I think you're going to have a new confidence and you're going to say, you know what? Why not me? You're going to be surrounded by all these people who are going to encourage you, who are going to support you, who are going to be there when who are going to be there if you fail. I don't see you failing because here in July, we have the High Priestess, which in this particular situation, I see this as you coming into your own power. I see this as the picture developing. It's like those old Polaroids, you would take a picture and it would pop out and it was completely white, but you put it in your pocket and the warmth made it develop. And suddenly you're seeing this beautiful picture. And I feel like that's what July's going to feel like for you. You're going to start seeing things a lot more clearly. In August, we have the Queen of Swords. And I think that you're really... this is a time where you're going to start trusting yourself more. You're going to see that you've made a lot of progress. You're going to say, oh, I can do this. I can make these things happen. And then you're going to get more daring. You're going to feel emboldened and strengthened. And you're going to become unstoppable. And I think this is going to be a very exciting month for you. September, the Wheel of Fortune. Things finally start rolling. You're going to see concrete changes in September. All this is theoretical. All of this is putting in the work for it to come to fruition later. Well, guess what? Here's your later. The work that you put in, your spiritual work, your work in the 3D, it's moving this wheel. And everything's going to come out in your favor. I don't see anything but wonderful, wonderful things. You're really catching your momentum here. Just think about it. Spinning around and around and around. And you're really building your karma. You're really going toward the things that you're meant to do. October, Page of Swords. I feel like this was in the other reading. I feel like here's the moment when you're stumbling upon an opportunity. Maybe in the form of a person who offers you some wisdom or some ideas, or maybe just an idea comes in and, really pushes your efforts along. I feel like you're not going to question if you belong here or not anymore. I don't think you're going to question if you're worthy of the wonderful things that are happening to you. I think your self-doubt is going to go away as much as it can. I think this is when things level up again. This is another leveling up. And then November is going to be big for you. You're really going to be sitting in a beautiful place. You're going to feel a lot of contentment. Things are going to really pay off. and you're going to see them in the 3D. You're going to see it in your bank account. You're going to see it in your stress level. You're going to see it in your self-esteem. But all this is really starting to pay off. And in December, like I said before, you're moving into 2026 a completely different person than you were in 2025. Things are clear to you now. You know where you're going. You know the direction you're going in. It's not this confusion anymore. It's not this dishonesty and this cloudiness. It's you moving in the direction you choose, using your own wisdom and your own power, because you know you deserve it. And that is what is ahead of you in 2025. This is going to be a huge year for you. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I wish you the best of luck. I hope some of you come back and tell me how this went for you. I feel the energy I feel in my body right now is optimistic and exciting, and good for you. I'm so happy for you. All right, take care. Bye-bye. Hi, Group 3. Welcome to your reading. Please excuse the lighting. I call it moody. I didn't take a lot of time to set up today. I just wanted to get this message to you. All right, you chose the gardener in Group 3. So let's get you some oracle cards to get the overall vibe of 2025 for you. Whoa. One moment. Those fell. All right, these flew out with some force, so they must really mean something. We have River Woman. And we have Ceremony. I look forward to finding out how that applies to you. Okay, let's get you a Kipper card. Excuse me, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and some days are harder than others, and I'm having a hard time gripping my cards today. We have sad news. Do not panic. Okay? Do not panic. Context is everything, right? All right, let's get your tarot cards. For each month. Group 3 for January, please. King of Pentacles. February. Wow. Everything is just really jumpy for you. High Priestess. March. Wow. The Empress. Look at that power. April. Queen of Cups. Well, this is a great start. May. Ace of Pentacles. June. Four of Swords. You may be going on vacation in June. July. Two of Cups. August. Hold on, that fell too. Okay, you have the Death card. Please don't panic. September. The Chariot. October. Queen of Swords. November. The Knight of Wands. And December. The Lovers. Okay. Some interesting stuff here. Well, we have Ceremony, the Lovers, and the Two of Cups. This is definitely not for all of you, because this is a collective reading. If the Hierophant were here, I would definitely say that there's a marriage happening. It doesn't have to be for you. It could be someone you know. And it doesn't have to be a wedding. It can be a marriage of, like, two companies, or living with more integrity in your life, being more in alignment with your values, and so you're marrying your beliefs and your actions. You know, it can mean different things for different people, right? Okay, in January we have the King of Pentacles. This doesn't feel like your energy to me. Since it's a collective reading, it could be. But I think you might meet someone who, you know, it could be somebody who is through work. It could be somebody who's a boss. It could be somebody who's wealthy. You know, pentacles mean earthly things, so money, physical things you can touch. But it's not a card of greed. It's a card of wisdom in those earthly areas. It's slow movement, so it's very deliberate, it's very reliable, it's very steady. So this person probably has those qualities in them. Huh. It's just not immediately obvious to me like it was with the other groups. So let me keep going. I think this is more of an overall feeling than a card by card like the other two groups. This is a year when you're going to learn how to sit in your own power. But it's not just force. It's not just getting your own way. It's a knowing. It's being secure, letting go of your insecurities. It's and it's going to be balanced through all parts of your life. So you're going to sit in intellectual power. You're going to learn a lot this year. You're going to sit in your emotional power. You're going to, be more connected to your higher self instead of your ego. You're going to be more vulnerable with people. You're going to be more open-hearted. You're going to let people in more. You're going to give people a chance more. You're going to master your finances or a way of making money. Oh, and I heard you're going to learn to control your temper. Ah, wow. Okay. I'm sure that's for some of you. But these changes that you're making within you are going to change how the world perceives you. And you're going to project this confidence, but it's real confidence. It's not just a role you're playing. You're not just trying to convince people of it. It's something that you truly are. And I think this is going to be a process over the first 4 months. That you're really pulling all this in. For some of you in March with this Empress card, I just heard that you're manifesting something that you have always wanted and you thought you can never get. Something you never felt worthy of before. So maybe, for some of you, I feel like it's a romantic relationship. The kind that you deserve. Not the kind where you sit in flux, you sit in unknowing, you sit in anticipation. This is going to be something you're sure of, something you know about, with somebody who is a good communicator, with somebody who shows up for you in a way that you deserve. And I can feel a lot of you right now in this moment, even though you're fighting it, I can feel you say, oh, that's not going to happen to me. Oh, that's not. By March, you're going to change your mind. That self-doubt and that low self-esteem is going to start to fade. Because I think in February, you're going to really get some wisdom. And I just feel like it's from yourself. I feel like you're going to start to internalize some experiences that are going to raise you to a different level of understanding yourself. I see a lot of growth. I mean, you did get the garden. I see a lot of self-growth. I feel like, you've been this little squirrel, or this little mouse, and you're becoming a lion. And the transition may seem very sudden to you, but it's been latent. It's been working behind the scenes for a while. I think your subconscious has been, stewing on this. Because you deserve to be in a much better frame of mind than you are right now, where you know exactly who you are, you value that, you're very secure in it, and so you don't reach for things outside of yourself to fulfill you. But when it comes to something like this relationship or this job or whatever it is that you feel like you don't deserve right now, I think you're going to feel comfortable taking it. I think you're going to feel comfortable claiming it and say, no, I do deserve this. I don't need it. It's outside of myself. I don't need it to feel fulfilled or happy. But I want it. And I think a whole bunch of people by April are going to view you so much differently. People are going to start to notice you who've never noticed you before. People are going to start to respect you in a different way. I feel like people are going to ask you for advice. They're really going to admire you. And by May, this is going to bring in some new opportunities for you. All this growth is going to bring in new beginnings. So you might start a new job. You might start a new relationship. For some of you, it's just a whole new way of being. And then by June, I think that you're going to feel so secure and so happy that you're going to take some time to enjoy that. You know, you're going to rest. You're going to take a vacation. You're really going to indulge in this great feeling of, wow, I've mastered a lot so far this year in this short amount of time. I love myself. I love the things that I can do. I, love how I treat people. And you're going to take yourself for a little treat. A vacation or something like that. On this vacation, some of you might meet somebody. I do definitely feel like there's a partnership coming into your life, and it doesn't have to be romantic. I feel strongly that for most of you it will be. But I also feel like for some of you it will be just a soulmate in a platonic sense, and like a sisterhood or a brotherhood sense. Somebody who really sees you and who really admires you, and you feel the same about them. And, this is going to bring you to a lot of transformation. This is going to really bring you to some new beginnings, a new outlook on life. And I think it's going to bring you a lot of new opportunities, this person. I feel like, sometimes in some relationships there's give and take and that sort of thing. I feel like that this is so mutually beneficial, this relationship, that you're not going to feel like it's give and take. You're just going to feel like, wow, I'm so fortunate to have this, right? And in August, I think the benefits of that are going to start to show in the 3D, because I think this person is going to encourage you to go after what you deserve. A lot of people, I do think this is a romantic relationship. In September, there's going to be some definite movement, some definite change. But it's not through your own efforts. It's going to be progress. It's going to be happy. It's going to be in the right direction. But I think this is going to come through, this change will come through your past investments. Things are going to start to pay off. I think it's going to happen through divine guidance as well, through destiny. I think the things that are moving you along are not you at this point. Or it was the efforts that you made in the past. But this is definitely some really good payoffs coming your way. In October, we have the Queen of Swords. And this card doesn't necessarily say this, but I have this, I'm hearing crossroads. And you may change your path entirely. There's going to be a piece of information that comes in, a new wisdom that you gain somehow, that may change the course you're on. But I heard don't be afraid, because you won't be led astray. Okay? You need to use your logic in this situation, but you also need to use your faith. And you can handle it. You're the Queen of Swords. You have the wisdom, you have the knowledge that you need to get to where you're going. And you can handle whatever truth comes to you. Truth is your friend. Truth is your friend in this. Don't try to hide from it. Because how can you know what you're working with if you're working with obfuscation and lies and deceit? And don't you want to know the truth, even if it's something you don't like? Because how else can you best take care of yourself without knowing what you face? In November, we have the Knight of Wands here. I think you're going to move from, a space where you're using all this logic to where you're trusting your intuition a little bit more. And I do think that this is going to help you in your personal life. I think sometimes you use your logic to distance yourself, to not be vulnerable. I think you use it as a weapon instead of a tool sometimes. And in November, I see that you're going to break down some of those barriers. You have this river woman, and I feel like I just saw like a dam bursting. I don't think it's going to be catastrophic like that, but I see how you're going to be in flow state, be more trusting in flow state, which is not meeting things with resistance, letting them happen, using your intuition to guide you. Because logic isn't everything. That's not what makes us humans. We would just be robots if we just ran on logic, right? I think November is a time when you're really going to experience the human side of yourself, when you're going to experience vulnerability, when you're going to experience romance, when you're going to experience your raw, unfiltered emotions. And that's going to lead to really good things for you. For a lot of you, it's going to lead to a romantic relationship, to the romantic relationship. And as you see, this is the same. He's just grown a beard over time. So you started out maybe meeting this person. Don't worry about gender. It doesn't exist. It's just ideas. It's just energies. But I feel like you're going to leave 2025 going into 2026 more emotionally fulfilled than you've ever been. Whatever that means, and however that manifests for you. Now, you did get this sad news card. I don't feel like sad news is going to pop up. What I feel like is this is the energy that you're leaving behind in 2024. I feel like you're going to use whatever sadness that you experienced in 2024 as a tool to help you advance in 2025. I feel a lot of, I'm not going back there again. I'm not doing that again. I'm not letting myself ever feel like that again. I've crawled my way back, and I'm only moving forward. This sad woman in the sad dress is in the past and doesn't exist anymore. And I'm growing. I'm growing and cultivating this beautiful life for myself. All right, I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope it resonated with you. And I really wish you the best in 2025. Good luck, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.